Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us this time, this space. I would like to introduce to you a special guest, the first guest of a wellness season of wellness that I'm in on the YouTube channel. But I'd just like to tell you real quick, if you don't know, I am Nikki S. Salas, and I'm so grateful to join you. And I am the owner of Nikki S. Salas Holistic Coaching, where I teach people how to have balance in life. Without further ado, I would like to introduce to you, in her dreams, Trendy Lashon, sound therapist, and I would like to read this to you. She is a woman that promotes wellness, a healer, whether by listening, offering services such as sound therapy or tarot card reading. She is a woman of intuition. That's my type of woman right there.
I love
And
it.
a believer in spirituality. Oh yeah, this my sister, you all.
Yes,
This my
yes.
sister, and we're gonna get into how we met, but I'm gonna finish telling you this. Her background includes, but it's not limited to, a master's degree in education and of course learning from the universe. So without further ado, again, this is sound therapist Trini LaShawn
Oh,
in her
thank you so
dreams.
much, Nikki. That was so
Now,
beautiful.
what
I
did I miss
so
out? I
happy
just
to
gave a
be here.
little tidbit, but I want you all, I want you to introduce yourself to everyone.
Oh, thank you so much. Well, it is such an honor and a pleasure to be here in your presence and, to be on your YouTube channel. And yeah, so I am Trendy Lashon, and I have worked for 17 years in the
Oh,
public school system.
wow.
So I did all of that with my education and working and doing what I thought was what I wanted to do, but really where
Mm,
my passion lies is learning the ways of the universe and studying
yes,
that and channeling divine love and healing to all. So I'm
yes.
so grateful. A lot of wonderful things came along. A lot of blessings came along with the quarantine and all of that. And I stopped working in the public school system. And now I'm doing this full time with sound
Oh,
healing
wow.
and tarot card reading and just whatever way it is in which I can channel divine love and healing. I'm so grateful for that. And that's why it's so wonderful to connect with beautiful sisters like yourself who are doing the same thing. And it's just so encouraging. I love it.
Well, it's amazing that you even bring up so many things that you said and just that, them couple of minutes. First of all, the pandemic, and I have my own thoughts, my own belief of the pandemic as
Right.
detrimental and devastating it has, been to everyone. I do feel within myself that it has also opened doors, as you say, with yourself, it opened doors to people where they thought that was not possible. I know people that have, chose to saw it in a good light, right? Where,
Right.
they lost a job and they was able to find, something else, or just being at home with their children.
Yes.
It's like
Yes.
so many people have been, giving me their inspirational stories of that. So if you don't mind sharing a little bit more of your door opening or your portal into sound healing.
Yes, absolutely. So I have always been a very musical being from the time from when I turned 5 years old. I did my first performance and I sang, and I grew up in the church. So that was the
Hmm.
environment that I was exposed to and that I grew up in. So even though it wasn't my spiritual path, it did
Hmm.
open the door to me being able to realize the power of music.
Yes, yes,
And that is the thing, that transcends religions, it transcends even languages. If you
yes,
listen to someone sing in another language, you can feel that power, that energy that
yes,
they bring to their music. And
yes.
so I said, well, if I'm gonna be dragged to church, then at least I'm gonna be on the choir. So I fell in love with music at a very young age, and my parents would always have either gospel music or jazz playing in the house.
Mm,
And I mean, when you grow up listening to Ella Fitzgerald and Sarah Vaughan and Billie
mm,
Holiday, I mean, there was never a shortage of that soul, in my
mm.
home. And
That
so I,
music that, like you said, it just hits you to your soul, and it's oh,
yes, yes, absolutely. So I began my spiritual path in 2007 with the birth of
okay,
my oldest son.
okay.
I just said, you know what? There have been so many things that have been guiding me, leading me to really go within and to stop looking
Mm,
around me for the answers. And
yes,
so that's what I started doing, is saying little by little, it didn't happen overnight, but little by little, I gained the courage to really say, okay, this is my path and I'm going to follow
mm,
it. So, just within the past couple of years, I have been really studying the beauty of using sound frequency for healing,
mm,
and just taking from all the experiences that I have been exposed to and seeing the beauty of it and allowing that to really enrich what I do
yeah.
as I channel divine love and healing. So it's a beautiful journey, and I'm excited. And every time I work with someone or every time I create a video, it's just I love that feeling. And I just encourage anybody and everybody to do what makes your soul just leap
Yes.
for joy, because
Yes.
every time I do that, every time I pick up one of these instruments and I'm able to, whether it's a client or someone in my home, like I do sound healing on my children,
Mm,
and I do it for myself to ground and center myself and to raise
uh-huh.
my vibration. And it's just an honor and it makes me happy. So that's what I want to see people doing, is what makes them happy.
Well, I just want to say this, and I want to talk a little bit more about doing things that make your soul happy. And I know we're talking about music, but it's like a humming, that I feel when I am in alignment with something that I know I should be doing.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, like even a quick little story, you all. This is the first time actually me and in her dreams is talking. We have been communicating by and that's in formal language too, but through Instagram. But I felt her energy through the Instagram, and I had to reach out to her, and I had to have her to be the first guest, and to share not only her love for healing people, but to share her good energy, because good energy is a thing. It really is.
Yeah.
It's not just what I say, what I feel, and yes, I can only speak from my own experience, but there is so much research out there talking about about good energy, and I know that's a thing now, right? We hear people say positive energy, good energy, and I know we're not going to encounter positive energy all the time, right? And even when we encounter or we are ourselves feeling negative, here we are. We have something that sound therapy that can help heal you, and not only heal yourself, but be a, how should I say, a something that helps pass good energy to somebody else. And it makes
Yes.
me think of my acupuncture doctor, Dr. Zhu, love and light. I love her. I always talk about her. I love her. And she tells me one day, she says, this is a while ago, we was talking about Reiki, and she said, which is a wonderful, source of natural healing too, right? And she said, if you are of good energy, you pass along good energy. You help heal someone else.
Yes,
Yes,
that's right.
like even a smile, something as simple as that, but passing that good energy to somebody else, it can not only make them feel good, in their mind and their body, but help touch their spirit. And that's what I look for.
Absolutely. And you're so right. It can be in just those quick little interactions where we experience somebody's good energy. Or sometimes, I always say, you can tell when somebody walks in the room, you can tell what their energy is. You can read
Mhm.
their energy. And
Yes.
so when we share that with other people, that is just a beautiful exchange that doesn't even require a lot of effort. It's just passing along that goodness that you're feeling.
So tell me, because I'm glad that you brought up, and because I wrote down some questions about that, and you brought that up already, that you do that with your children.
Yes.
And I'm so glad. Look, in her dreams, Trini, this is my new sister, everyone. Okay, so this is my sister Trini now. So, hey, my children, my boys, and Trini shared with me about her young boys, her children. But my boys are older and they're adults. But if I knew about sound therapy when they were little, I would have been doing that every day. When
Right.
every night before they go to school. Let's balance some chakras up in here because y'all off balance. Let's get it together.
Right. And it's the perfect time to do it because children are already so open to the things that sometimes as adults we steer away from because, the hustle and bustle of every
Yes.
day keeps us away. But they are so musical. Like my 6-year-old, he'll take this little chime. Now, this is what I love to use to sort of calm them down. And my six year
Mm.
old is an Aries. So he has that very hot energy, he's going, going, going. And so I'll just go,
And you're like,
and he's like, uh-huh.
put them in a trance.
Yes, yes. And another thing is when we meditate, like so sometimes he'll just take I have this bowl now. I have a whole set of crystal singing bowls and all that, but this right here is my favorite. I
Mm-hmm.
love it. So I use this with meditation, but
Oh,
I
I
keep
love
this
that.
in my sacred space. And so he'll just go in there and start, and he'll
Oh,
send himself. So he's starting to learn those methods, those simple
wow.
methods of just doing things like that to calm his temper or to, just bring a sense of being grounded.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what I recommend is just like making certain things available to them. And it doesn't have to be anything expensive. You can use rattles. I've got my tincture bells here that we use in meditation and, just to clear the mind,
Mm-hmm.
to slow you down a little bit and ground you. But if you leave those things out and available to them, they will start to, or what I found is that they will start to just gravitate towards it because they see it as a way
Wow.
to regulate their emotions. And when their adrenaline is pumping, they know that they can use that as a resource. So I absolutely love it. If they're feeling a little bit off, I do my crystal therapy and stuff like that too. I do prana
Mm.
healing. But when they hear me practicing my bowls and going through, and they just love that. It brings such a beautiful energy to our entire home. And I just love that these things are so, we're talking about them and we're putting it out there that this is
Mm-hmm.
a resource that we have
Yes.
access to, that we have gotten away from. I feel like for so
Yes.
many of us, it really is within our DNA,
Yes.
you
Yes.
know. But
I'm sorry, Trini.
no, no, go ahead, go
I
ahead.
just wanted to say something about with your children, which you have seen, right? And
Mhm.
there is also science based because again we can speak off of this, but now and I'm glad that you even brought up about this being a thing now, though like you said, it has always been a thing, we just went away from the thing.
That's
But
right.
now science is starting to catch up and say, okay, what's going on with sound therapy and the different kind of natural healing, whether it be they call them alternative at one point, right? They were just calling out, that, oh, okay, you either this doing, what we say to do, and that's okay too. I'm not saying nothing against
Mhm.
that, but they're starting to integrate it now, right? And say, okay, why don't you guys come on over here, because they're finding out that it's working. And I read some research done by the U.S. National Library of Medicine that says that, okay, well, it's something going on, it's something that's going on with the sound therapy that's helping to decrease people pain, to help them with their mood. And going back to children, because I worked in the education as a nurse for a while, I had seen a lot of teachers or different officials that have something to do with health promotion started to make that part of programs or therapy for the children that we deal with that have ADHD and
Yes.
autism. They have seen these children not only for that time where they would come and get it, whether they turning it on the radio or on their phone, but
Mm-hmm.
it would stabilize their mood for the rest of the day. They're even doing that in some schools, where I had read some other articles a while ago, where they're starting to practice that for so-called detention. They're doing that to do that instead of punishing the children, just saying that, okay, this is the behavior. Let's see what we can do better to make it better.
Yes, I'm so glad you mentioned that because working as a teacher, it's like I saw so many students who, they were taking the prescribed medication and all of that. And so often I would attend those IEP meetings, and the parents were so dissatisfied with what the
Mm,
medication was doing or the
mhm,
side effects.
mhm.
And so when we see that, it's like now society is ready to look at these alternative, ways of healing that we have, because we see that, popping the pills and doing all of that, you know, and I'm not discouraging anyone to do that
Right.
if that's their choice, but I did that for years and I was not happy with the side effects. So for many people, it's like we're looking for a better way. And what better way than to tap into something that comes as naturally to us as
Yes.
sound?
Yes.
You think about it, the first thing, the sounds that you hear when you come out of your mother's womb, you hear her voice. That right there is sound
Mm,
therapy.
mm.
Hush, baby, hush. That is therapeutic.
Oh,
That is soothing
yes.
to the soul. And so
Oh,
when we can do that and tap into these frequencies that run through us, through our bodies, that's something that is so natural and it's just, it makes sense, It makes sense.
and wouldn't that just be wonderful if we just, did things that make sense? And you said it, and I'm gonna go back to what you said, that, and then again, this is my belief, right? That we have, because I raised my hand to it, that with my of how I feel, about natural healing. And again, I am not denouncing um, uh, healthcare, medical interventions, because they do have their place, right? I
Right.
do feel that we are putting too much on the doctors,
Yeah.
and making them be responsible for us not being in tune. Here we go, tune and music and sound, right? Not being in tune with our own body, like, and I know this is for you as well, that
Mhm.
I know you know if I need to, I start to listen to myself. I say it that way.
Mhm.
If like I said earlier, sometimes when I have this, I just, you just feel unsettled. It's like,
Right.
okay, what's going on?
Right.
And like lately, even with eating, right?
Mhm.
When I, because I am changing that, it's
Mhm.
okay, Nikki. No more cow ice cream. I say cow ice cream, the dairy, because
Right.
you're not digesting that properly. And when I listened to that, I saw, it shift.
Mhm.
When hey, you need to get more sleep, because when I was a nurse working in skilled care and so forth for so long, I was not in tune, because I was going so far away from what was good for me and learning to listen to my own voice, that it
Right.
it causes disruption, and disruption in many, causes disease, disorders. It is going against what we're supposed to do for ourselves. And for somebody else, eating ice cream, dairy or cow ice cream might be okay. That might be in tune with them. But again, we have to, let's take time to listen to ourselves. And our body does have a rhythm. And something else, because I love to research and read, but and I know a lot of people are still on the fence about natural healing. So, which they have every right to. Everybody's journey is different.
That's
But when
right.
I talk to people about different natural healing tools, methods, I give them the science-based evidence if that helps calm them. And there is so much research out there now because they're finding that there's this awakening that's happening where even with the pandemic, like we said earlier, though it came to and it caused devastation in a lot of people's lives, whether it helped people transition physically by death, right, or lose jobs and so forth, but it also woke people up to other things, as well as I'm starting to hear more people waking up to being more in control of their health. More people because of COVID are like, okay, so what can I do to either keep from getting COVID, or if it is to come into your body, what do I need to do to, cause alignment? Because mind, body, and spirit is alignment. That is homeostasis. That is when our body actually is in harmony.
Yeah.
There's even research, and I know I went all the way away from it, but there is research that talks about even the earth having a rhythm. And I think the sound is what, 7.83 hertz. I don't know if it's megahertz or hertz, but which is similar to that of blood, which is kind of neutral, and it's kind of like in between on the scale.
That's
And
right.
that our body, our circadian rhythm too, when that is off, then that causes disruption and devastation too. So yeah.
Exactly, exactly. And that's why and I'm all about looking at things from a positive perspective, because what else are we going to do? If
Right,
you look at
right.
things through a negative lens, that's just going to bring you down, bring your
Yes,
vibration down. You're not going to be
yes.
manifesting. So that's what I'm all about. But the positive aspect of quarantine for me was just being able to slow down. It's like
Yes.
everything around you slows down. You really don't have any other option.
Yeah. You got to sit down and listen to yourself. It's like,
Right, right. And so it helped me to really say, okay, this is absolutely in alignment with what I have always wanted. I want to spend more time with my children. I want
mm,
to build my time or spend my time building in her dreams, and
mm,
really invest more time in doing what it is that my soul has told me to do, not what my mind has been telling me to do,
that's good.
and just really getting in alignment. And yeah, so I'm very grateful, and it's so wonderful hearing you speak, as from the healthcare and all of that. I mean, that is just amazing. I love hearing all of the beautiful things and the knowledge that you have. So
Well, even with that, it took I had to go to it, though I still work in it, but in a school setting, but I had to go that route to even get here. I had the, it was, I believe that it was part or one of the bridges, to help bring, because every step is part of the path, right? But
right.
when I would go and, work in the hospitals and so forth and the centers, I learned that it wasn't just about treating a body, and even that body, it's not like that body. We all are different, and
Yeah.
that they still have no matter if they were 80. I've taken care of people that was 103. I think the oldest maybe 103, 105, that though somebody might, or it may seem like their mind is gone, but there's still a spirit in there. And which I'm grateful for all of that I went through and had to experience by treating these people. It was also treating me. It was also showing me what was important, about soul. And I might talk about holistic, which is, mind, body, and spirit, but I am so more, I should say, more spirit focused, and try as best, right? Because it's still a continuous journey. But to see someone as soul, as spirit more than just mind and body, and I really feel that that's part of the humming that's
Mhm.
going on within us, and us trying to connect with that, like it's what you do. And of course, I don't know 100% of what you do, but what I do know of the sound therapy, or with other musicians that would try to make it so in a way that how should I say, that it resonates with somebody. And I know that what I might do might be different, from somebody else. But I think just everybody got to find their own rhythm in their life. And as well as you finding, sometimes we think, oh, well, I've been doing this. Like you said, you've been in education for almost 20 years. And part of that was part of, one of the bridges to bring you to here, and for you to get in rhythm, back in rhythm with yourself, and now this is helping your children so they can be in rhythm with themselves. They're gonna go
And
out to the world and they gonna show people
that's right.
it's a beautiful, like you said, you were in the choir. It's like we are all part of the choir.
That's
But oh,
right.
and when we meet each other, we're making these beautiful melodies together, which I would hope that we would try to.
Yes. That is absolutely right. And as we find ourselves, it's like we are also coming together and
Yes.
just becoming a part of this beautiful mosaic that we create here on earth. And I love it. I
Hmm.
absolutely love it.
Let me ask you this, because this is a thing too, right?
Mhm.
Of now more people are starting to awake to natural forms of healing, whether it be sound therapy. But you say that you do tarot cards.
Right.
And how now, what brought you into that? And I would like to ask you, because that is evident that you are this woman of color. I would like for you to share about, how you transitioned into that, and were you even kind of afraid of that?
I think what came naturally to me was that at the right time, when the time was right for me to step into every mode of healing that I practice, the right person was there to sort
Mm-hmm.
of show me the way.
Mm-hmm.
And it may have been just, a person that showed me something, or, I admired something about them and I would ask, well, what is this about? So I had my first tarot reading about 5 years ago.
Okay.
And it was at a time where I was going through transitions in my life. And it was like a magnet. I was drawn to it so
Mm.
strongly. And just I got my first deck and I would go, in my bedroom and light my candle and everything. And it was a way for me to really be alone with myself, just me, my
Mm.
soul, and I.
Mm. Mm.
And it really helped me to improve with my scrying abilities. I've always been very clairaudient. I have
Mm-hmm.
heard the voice of spirit since at a young age, and it came very naturally to me. But as far as being able to use my clairvoyant capabilities, that was a little bit slower in developing for me.
Okay.
So, what tarot did for me was by scrying into the cards, I was able to really tap into another aspect of my intuitive gifts. And so that's why it's like, I feel like because I do sound healing, but then I want to do something else. So I have like these different modes of healing that
That's good.
really stimulate all of the parts of me that I just love using for healing. So I love tarot. And as a woman of color, I have to say that my biggest disappointment has been seeing the lack of representation of people of color in the
Yes.
cards.
Yes.
So, sometimes I would, and I'm always, optimistic, and so I'll buy the deck, and I'm like, of course it's going to be diverse. This was early on when I started getting really heavy into it. And I would get him like, there is not a single Black person in here. There's not a single person that looks like they may be Asian, and it was very disheartening for me. But now I see that over the past couple years, that is really, because as more diverse people get into it
Yes.
and are, sort of feeling very confident about saying, I am a tarot reader, this is
Yes.
something that I do. Of course, the next thing that's going to happen is we're going to start creating stuff.
Yes, which I'm starting to see, I'm gonna say, ooh, I don't know when I got my first reading. Um, maybe almost a decade ago. But even back then, and I guess because I was like, oh well, because even for myself, when I was questioning, I wanted to know, I wanted to see what it was about. And when I went, uh, of course, she had cards that looked like her, So I was like,
Right.
okay, I mean, that's what it is, because we're not really doing this, though even deep down within me, I'm like, okay. And I know even with that, there was a bridge as well to help me to listen to my inner voice and so forth, and my spiritual hearing. But though it's trending, it's not really that I feel that it's trending. It's another awakening to more of us coming out. And it's like, we've always been here. We were just kind of scared. Like and more that we're starting to, to be free, to really free ourselves to say that, hey, I call myself a medium. I call myself clairvoyant. I'm a believer in acupuncture and chanting, and that's all right. So more of us is like, oh, she's okay with it, then I'm
Right.
gonna be okay with it too. So more of us is coming out, and I believe that's what aligned us, me and you on IG, is us being free about that. You being free to be, even with our hair. About 10 years ago, you would see it, but it was like, oh my God, why is she wearing her hair like that? But
Exactly.
now it's like, oh, she's wearing her hair like that.
Yes, and it's so wonderful to see that within the community where we are really embracing ourselves.
Yes.
We're embracing, because
Yes.
we have to do it first. We
Yes.
have to do it first. And that's why this is so beautiful. I had a student who she told me that she loved my hair,
Mm-hmm.
and she was Black like me. She said, how long have you had it? Have you had it dreaded? And I said, a couple of years, about 2 years. And we were talking about it, and I told her, well, I used to have a relaxer.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, a relaxer? And I was so happy to see that reaction, because
Wow.
here is this beautiful young queen.
Wow.
It is so foreign, so awful to have
Wow.
that in her hair. And so to see that change, because when I was her age, that was the thing. That was what
Mm-hmm.
we did,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so I'm so happy to see that process happening where we are truly embracing ourselves. It's happening within the community, and we're applauding it. It's no
Yes.
longer a thing where it's like strange, or let me see how this plays out for her. She can go out there, it's like Erica Badu was doing it, and it's like, but now it's like we're all seeing the beauty of accepting ourselves and
Yes.
tapping into that that ancestral strength that we have that
Yes.
runs deep within us. And I'm so happy that we are taking the shame out of who we are. So
That goes back to what you said earlier about, about being, being ourselves, and when we are truly more and more when we are breaking away from um the distraction, or whether it be hair or something else, that it's okay for me to be okay with how I was made. And I'm not saying nothing against, you know um those who choose, to do
that's
different things
right.
with their hair.
That's
It's
right.
just, this is what how it works for me. And I know for myself that I was holding on to that, to distract me, which I believe that's what it was, to distract me from who I really was. And that was a bridge to also, just listening to myself, with just other things, listening to my inner voice about, how to eat, just how to do just different things. And that's why this is needed. And that's again why I wanted to reach out, make it a point to reach out to women of color that is doing sound therapy, that is, wearing natural hair, that's talking about sensual medicine, that is talking about, which is not new, because the answer, talking about tarot cards, because I want to be us to be the bridge to help somebody, to usher somebody else to the other side, to healing themselves just from what they are holding on to, that's keeping them, from being just who, what makes them feel good, that again makes them be in rhythm with themselves.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. In tune with yourself. I love how you stated that before. That was so perfect. Being in tune with who you really truly are, and
Mm-hmm.
not feeling ashamed because of any stigma.
Yes.
I took so long to embrace my true path because I was afraid of what family members would think. And, so many of us, people of color, we place such a huge importance on how we're perceived in our communities.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that's important for us, that sense of relationship. But what I've discovered is that, if I don't have a good relationship with myself, anything else, that is really not going to amount to much because I'm not embracing who I truly am. And so,
Yes.
like you said, I'm so grateful that we're getting our confidence in saying who we truly are, and we're discovering who we are, you know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's like we turning the light on, a light, it's like sometimes you'll play around, and which, well, I guess that's, I don't know, maybe this is not everybody, but sometimes you like, I didn't know it was a plug there or something like that, another outlet or whatever. But it's, we're able to, yes, we're starting to turn our light on, and that's what I want to do. I want to, not only for myself, but like Dr. Zhu, an acupuncturist, has said, if you are of good energy, then you will help heal somebody else. So yeah,
Oh,
I definitely want that for our women of color. I want that for all, women, right? But I just feel like with women of color, it's just, it's a little bit harder, because more of us, I believe, need to, um like you said about representation, and that does matter. And the more of us that are freeing ourselves, that are healing ourselves by being ourselves, it's going to bring the other sisters over too.
right.
Yes. So is there anything else you would like to share in her dreams, Trini Lashon?
I can't really think of anything. I just encourage you. I offer healing sessions and I study the art of sound healing. But I love how you touched on, using it in our homes. And I know before you started recording, we were talking about that, using it with our children. It's so
Yeah.
many simple things that you can do just by having these tools available. You can get a little drum, you can get a
Mm.
tambourine, just simple instruments, and keep them around the house. Leave them available to your children, and let them explore. Let them
Yes.
explore, let them discover the beauty of these things because it really is so simple. We can get into the science and the hertz and the sound frequency and all of that, but at the end of the day, it's about the energy that you awaken within yourself when you use these
Yes.
things and when you hear a simple sound or a simple tune. And certain things will, like if you I really recommend going on YouTube. There's so many, you can tap into different frequencies for like cleansing your home
Mm.
of negative energy, raising your vibration, making it easier for you to receive information as you're studying or as you're reading.
Oh.
So all of these different things, you can just look for them. They're already available on YouTube. I love it. And just use that to sort of enrich your life, make things a little bit easier, raise your vibration,
Yes.
and allow you to live just a more wholesome life. And I really feel it's all about the little things that we do all throughout the day. I'm finding ways to just raise my vibration and
Yes.
the vibration of my home and keep things very clear of negative energy because there are so many distractions. And
Hmm.
I know growing up, we always had the news playing. I would not dare do that today because it's so much going on. But just sometimes leaving a window open and letting the birds sing to you.
Oh
It's
my God. I
yes,
I I love that. Oh my God. Sometimes, most of the time, oh,
yes, right.
or just
It's so
opening it so you can hear the
beautiful.
wind. Oh my God.
I love because we're on the second floor, so I love leaving my window open, especially now when it's spring and you can
Uh-huh.
do that without freezing. But I love doing that, just connecting with the elements and
Yes.
allowing that energy to come into your home. That's a way of doing sound healing as well, and letting those elements come into your home. So it's so many ways to do it, but I don't want to mystify it so much and make it like these aren't things that you can do on your own. It's just
Mhm.
about having some simple things. Get you a bowl, and you can use this as you meditate. The chimes that I showed are great for children. You can get a rattle that's great for cleansing your energy, just going
Mm.
down and envisioning each chakra just being emptied of any negative energy and allowing it to flow down through your toes on out the house.
Ooh.
So
Go down the river somewhere.
yes, yes. And I've got this drum here. Now, this is wonderful for like going through your home and cleansing the energy of your home. You can go through and
Oh.
get those vibrations. This is a shamanic drum, but you can go through and just let the vibrations fill up your home. And my son loves to help me with this. And so, yeah, it's just a wonderful way to not only bond with yourself and with the elements, but with your family as well. And just doing simple things to add more happiness to your life. You know?
Yeah, man, it's ooh, when was the first time I went to sound therapist session? Maybe around 5 or 6 years ago.
Hmm.
And it blessed my life. And again, you all, I speak from my experience. It's and because of that, more and more, through as the years went on, and like we just said, I just, I could just tell when it's time to, like you said, it's time to cleanse, whether it's just to turn all the distractions off, not just the TV, but yeah, sometimes you all we gotta turn that phone off too. Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah, turn it off. Yeah. And listen to the, what the divine source has already given us to, to heal us, to help, just like we will see with sage and so forth. Sage your soul. Get some sound therapy. Get let that
Yes.
let that music beat. Like your body is the drum. Let it beat through your body.
Yes, and it comes naturally to so many of us. As a teacher, I worked with the musical intelligence. There's so many different intelligences that we have to
Mm.
tap into, but that intelligence of music, that is an actual way to tap into,
Wow.
the depths of our minds and our souls,
Hmm.
just to really. connect with that part of us. And
Yes.
so, yeah, I love it.
So I'm gonna go over. Let me see. I'm gonna make sure that Stephanie client. Oh, okay. So how can anyone reach you? How can someone want to reach out to you? Share all the different handles that you have, website and everything. Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yep, I can now.
Sorry, my Wi-Fi got disconnected or something. Can you repeat that?
Yeah. So make sure I want you to share your different ways of how someone can reach out to you.
Okay, absolutely. So I have my website at inherdreamsintuitive.com, and you can see a list of the services that I provide. I offer tarot readings, healing sessions, and those healing sessions do include sound therapy as well as pranic healing. It's sort of, it's very similar to Reiki. But yes, pranic healing, and you can also see me. I do monthly readings, tarot readings on YouTube and In Her Dreams. If you type in Trendy Lashon, you can get to my YouTube channel, and I'm also on Instagram at In Her Dreams 11. Yes.
Well, thank you, Trendy Lashon, for blessing us.
Thank
And
you.
Trini is, oh no, because you're my sister now. You're my spiritual sister now. And I'm so grateful for you. I'm so grateful for the alignment. It's not just IG, it was another step, it was another bridge.
I'm
So
grateful.
she is going to further bless us with some sound therapy to take us out.
Absolutely. Thank you, Nikki.
You're welcome. Thank you, sister. Thank you so much.
Blessings.
No, thank you. So thank you all for joining. We wish you all well. Make sure you like and subscribe, not only this page, but Trini Lashon In Her Dreams as well. Live holistically so you can thrive. Bye-bye. Bye, Trini. Bye-bye.